Greetings, y'all. It's Matt from the Green Arcade. Good morning. We're back. We're playing some more Farming Simulator 25. Fixing to get into a pretty significant corn harvest here. How's everybody doing? Good morning, Fuzzy. Old man will be here, I'm assuming, probably soon. He's already in the TeamSpeak over there, so I feel like my microphone needs to be closer. Let me make some small adjustments here. There we go. May need to turn the sensitivity up on that thing. On the TeamSpeak side of things. I think you guys can hear me fine. Good morning, Twitchy. Good morning, John. Good morning, Pleasant View Farm. How's it going? Nice machine behind? Yeah. I like it. Not the 1666, but it's a nice one. It's a nice old machine. Alright, so let's get things a-cracking. I think I'm gonna kinda go in and do it this way. Somewhat. Really need to get turned around. I think it won't go all the way down. I did sunflowers with this last, so it won't go all the way down until I touch the corn. There we go.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning, old man.
How we doing today?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Alright, let's see. That's the wrong button. Let's go that many. Do 90. Godspeed, 1488. Alright. So, we are going to hop back over to the main farm over here and get this machine going. This is probably going to be the same way. It won't go down until I touch the corn. Yep. Okay, let's do the same thing I think on this one. Do 90. Do 2. Yeah, see, that makes part of that disappear, so... let's do 2. Oh, I don't have... I was wondering why the things weren't showing up. Because I didn't have it on. You gotta turn the headlands on before it'll actually show the lines. Alright, let's do that. 90. Fire that out. Good morning, Adam. How's it going? got some tweaks to the game. Base game, Massey Combine. These things are gonna fill up quick. Well, this guy will. Probably that's international down there too, but. It's harvest time. So I was looking at this tree. Let me actually move this out of the way. Don't want him to get in the way of that guy. Whoa. And I guess I need to go back and load up the base map, but I was looking at this tree and it looks like one of the trees that got hit by a tornado. Funny thing is like I have visuals only on. So maybe it happened before we moved here? I don't know. It definitely looks like it got twisted off by a tornado.
Speaking of tornadoes, did you see that new mod that tornadoes will pick up your combines and tractors and all?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they got a new mod out there for that.
I did see the mod where you can clear brush now from BC Bueller. I'm probably butchering the name, but he's got the thing where you put it on a like a what do you call them? The forestry things. Gosh, I can't think of the name of them. Excavator, that's what I'm looking for. You put it on, where am I looking here? Yeah, you put it on an excavator like the Volvo, and you cut, I guess you cut the trees and then you pick them up with it, and you put them in a pile, and you can actually burn them in a brush pile.
That's cool.
Yeah, that looked pretty neat to me. Tornado, is it called tornado physics?
I think that's what it's called.
Oh, is that the mod I've heard about where you can actually lose equipment?
I don't think you'll lose it, but you'll have to like reset it. If it's not in like a building, a shed or something, it will pick it up if it's in the path. It will toss your bales everywhere, all that.
Yep, he had a telephone pole. He had a telephone pole. Oh no. Put your pipe in. Might have been my bad. I don't know, that sounds kind of risky to me. Because if it picks up your equipment, and if it throws it anywhere near the border, and it gets stuck in the border, or even worse, gets stuck outside the border and it's stuck out there in the map universe, then it could be lost forever.
Yeah, I think it could be dangerous. But, I mean, what would a real tornado do?
Yeah. Yeah, these curves are not broad enough on this field. I'm going to have to come in and do a little redo on some of these. Be alright once we get past the headlands, but I have been busy working on this map. Trying to get a lot of stuff done. A little quick fly around here. Mowed a bunch of grass up here. Took out these tree lines. Gonna make a nice sized field up here up north. Took out a lot of tree lines up here. Did a little plowing. Need to come back and do a little smoothing. Got this one finished up. Be our cotton field up here, I think. Probably gonna do some rice up here somewhere, maybe over here. Got some grass mowed up here. Probably need to do some more hay bales. I've done one load of hay bales, one load of straw bales, and I've got plenty of silage bales down there at the what we're gonna call a cow farm, or the dairy farm, or whatever. And then I did a lot of mowing over here somewhere. Gotta get my bearings. Where am I at? Nope, I'm not there yet. Right over here. So I've got a few grass bales on the ground over here. And then this is where I stopped. So I got the baler right there, got the wrapper right there. Got the reload on that right there. Did I leave that running? Or are you in there, old man?
No, that's no. I'm into New Holland. I'm getting ready. I'll go ahead and finish up the baling and the wrapping if they need to be wrapped.
Yeah, if you want to work on that, you can.
We only have 2 cornfields, right?
Yep. You're in the New Holland tractor, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I saw. Back to the case.
It took a while for my shaders to come in.
Yeah, there's probably been so many changes here that it probably needed to load everything back up again. When we get done with corn harvest, we can work on cutting more grass and more clover, alfalfa, whatever's growing out there.
So how was work this week?
Busy. Crazy
Well,
busy. I'm glad it's warmer now, though.
warmer than 10 degrees?
Yes. No more single digits. Looks like we're gonna hit actually lower 70s this coming week. And there's a lot of like fake weather sites on the socials and stuff that say, oh well, we got a chance of a blizzard, major blizzard, snowstorm, la la la, ice storm, la 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 la. All fake. All the temperatures, if it's the temperatures that they're saying it's going to be, which it's probably is going to be, then all of these fake weather sites are just fake. It's all fake news, okay?
We had a snowstorm yesterday and it dropped another inch and a half.
Oh, y'all can keep it up there, cause we're done down here. We're done. We're ready to get into the springtime temperatures.
Oh, I'm waiting for that.
Oh, really? I thought that curve was broad enough. Maybe not with that larger header. Maybe I need to make it a little broader than that. No, put your pipe back in. Get him up here and get him a little bit emptied.
Dude, man, I'm having flashbacks.
What's that?
I'm having flashbacks.
What of?
Yeah. Bailing. Bailing flashbacks. There you
Hashtag never again.
go. Amen to that one. You even think about it, I'll go on another hiatus.
No, we won't do that again. We did it. We can say that we did it, but probably never again. Nope. Yep, I had to work the loan a little bit again. I got the loan down to 1.25 million, and then I took out a lot more loan and got us up to 1.7 million, and then I sold some bales, got some straw bales we can probably sell, and then got sold some more silage bales. All the silage bales I had on that northern grass field, sold those. And then got us back down to, I think we're back down to 1.5 million again. Yeah, we're back down to 1.5, so. Abe DeLink, thank you for the follow. Alright, I'm just going to slowly do this number until we get these headlands done. What frame are you in when you go in cab? close. Nope, too close, too close. Gotta get rid of a tree. Here we go. I just had to wait for him to stop. try to get up here and get a little more off of him, then I'll go empty this. Gotta thread the mailbox. Thread the mailbox. Thread the mailbox. Thread the mailbox. Yay! And I'm full. So let me go empty this. Catch him around here in front of the shed up here. Guess I need to probably sell these trailers, or at least some of them. Okay, this is gonna go straight into the dryer. Turned on. Guess we can turn on the beans that are in there too. Get those going. Alright, we're drying product. Around the corner yet? Nope, not yet. There he is. Coming around the corner with the corn. It'll be coming around the corner with the corn. This pass will be a lot better now that we've got that opened up there. I want to see how long my grain textures will last, being able to see them actually in the grain cart here. So far, I can still see it down in there. So yeah, this tree is not actually a tree. This is just a phase throughable, I guess, permanent decoration. Is this one? Nope, that one's real. Catch him up here. Yeah, bought a 7R too. Put the Nokian turf tires on it. So now we've got an 8R with the turf tires. Now we've got a 7R with the turf tires. These are specifically for grass, hay, alfalfa, clover, stuff like that. I think old man got busy, man. You got all this stuff bailed up here. Yep, out here rapping away. He must be taking a coffee break.
Yeah.
Yo, Blue, good morning. Doing good. How are you doing? You want to try the No Man's Land for FS22. Should I play it? Yeah. Go for it. Was that the one where you could, like, turn stuff on and off? Was that the map I'm thinking of? If I remember right, there was something on there. You either cut like some signs or some poles or something, and it would turn off like the rocks. It would turn off the power poles or something like that. If I'm thinking of the same one, No Man's Land, and I think I'm thinking of the same one, you could do that, and then it had like a little kind of farm out in the center that had like a lot of old stuff out there, like old sheds and old like trash and equipment and stuff. You could get rid of all that. And they were set up, the whole map was kind of set up like in grids. Yeah, it was a pretty popular map because, I mean, that's for console people because it was on console. It was popular because, that's one of the, few, better ones that they could access back in the day. Even for PC people, though, it was a pretty good map. It was different. If a map is unique and different, then that makes it good in my opinion. Where somebody's doing a conversion of Sosnovka for the last time. So Sosnovka's coming to Farming Simulator 25. Getting a lot of those old 15 maps. Westbridge and Sosnovka, and pretty sure somebody did Estancia Lapacho. And then the only one I haven't seen yet, and it might be out there as a third party, but I haven't seen Bjornholm. Somebody did Goldcrest from 17. Seen some of those on 22. Yeah, I know a lot of them were converted for 22. I do miss the collectible part of it. Back when you could get either crops or money. Most of the time you got money for a lot of them. I know, like over on Elm Creek back in 22, you would get $1,000 per toy that you would find, and then you would get 100,000 per category group, and by the time all was said and done, you could make 1.1 million just by finding the collectibles. And it was a great way to, kind of tour the map. Back on Bjornholm, you had all the gold coins, and you didn't get money there. Instead of money, what you got all the gold coins, right? And then you took all your coins to the well at the southwest corner of the map, and then they would give you crop. So they'd give you like so much, wood chips, sugar beets, potatoes, corn, wheat, barley, all that stuff. And then you'd have those crops to sell. And let's see, Goldcrest, you had the gold nuggets. I like the collectible part. They didn't. It's kind of weird how they did it with 25. There were collectibles, and I think you did get a little money for them, but I think mostly it was for the museum, which I don't know. That was one of the things that kind of was weird about Riverbend. So you did the collectibles. I think you got a little money for them, and then you built the museum, which technically it was a grain elevator, but it would be nice if it was a functioning grain elevator instead of just a museum. I mean, you can have a museum in it, and then still make it a sell point, in my opinion. Um, yeah, that was weird. I think it would be neat if they did a map with collectibles on it. And it's been nice, you know, having the toys to find, having the coins to find, you know. What do you do next after that? Well, the museum thing was okay because you found a lot of this old, you know, grain elevator equipment style stuff. What if you found old pieces of actual, like, farm equipment? So you could collect the different pieces of like an old tractor, and then once you find all the pieces, you can, you know, get that tractor. It'd be nice to have like an old tractor that, you know, from the old pieces that you found and you put together. Just something to think about. Now the thing with the Highlands map, that was kind of weird. The messages in a bottle and then you don't get any monetary reward. No crop reward. The only reward you get from finding all the messages in the bottle is the pirate ship. And it's off in the distance. You can't even access the pirate ship. It's like way out there. So yeah, I was trying to remember what all we had. I think 19, there weren't any collectibles. And then they brought them back in 22 with all the toys.
There's been so many maps with collectibles in it.
Yeah. Trying to remember, there was a map, and I don't even remember which game it was. But it was a European map. I want to say the name of it was Lawfolds. It was a very like British or UK map. And they put the collectibles on there, and they put all the, I think it was gold coins or gold nuggets. They put them all in one field, and they were like out on, they were like on the top of a hill out in a field, all out in the center. They didn't hide them around the map. I think it was Lawfolds, if I remember right. That was either in 17 or 19.
Yeah, I can't remember that one.
That was one of the early on mod hub maps, I think. I think it was called Lawfolds though.
Probably the best one I remember is Elk Mountain.
Now
Yeah,
that one
one
was fun, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, but you got too much money out of that deal.
That one, well, there were two separate things. So you had all the elk antlers that you found,
Yeah.
and you got monetary reward for those. There were
Gold
three like boxes that you got a monetary reward for, and then there was one big one that you got a monetary reward for. And that was the big one. Wonder what happened to him. Elk Mountain modding. You don't see too much from him.
Wasn't there one with a map, a pond in it, that you had to go to the pond and kind of go underneath the pond to get the gold?
I
It was
think
gold or
that was
nuggets.
the Welkers map.
Was that the Welkers map?
I think so. Yeah, the Welkers map. That was back in, gosh, was that 19 or 22? And then the Millennial Farmer map for 22, he had like a lake on there, but you had to find the secret entrance to the tunnel bridge that went out to the island. And I don't think there was, I'm trying to remember, was there any reward for that? I can't remember if there was or not. I think there was. I just can't remember. Gosh. And I played these maps. That's the bad thing. I've played these maps. I don't remember. It's been so long. Now over on 22, we had Hot Baileron over there in the French land. We had game cartridges instead of the toys. So you had to find like so many game cartridges, and I think the payout was better for those because there wasn't as many. But you would find all the game cartridges, and then all the game cartridges went to the gaming setup in the garage at the main farm there, I think. And then Erlengrot had something. What did they have? They had some kind of collectible there at Erlengrot. Was it the No, I'm trying to think. Was it cheese? I can't remember. They had some kind of collectible there in Erlengrot. I know the Zelanka had the golden apples. Yeah, you can bring it up here when it finishes. Just start him on this one should be starting the east and west lines here very soon. Just start him on the opposite side, I guess. Alright, I'm about to be full. I'll run on ahead and dump this. Back and empty him out. And then he'll have to figure out, I guess, where he's gonna go. Alright, cool. Like a corn shower. Weird. You know, this would hurt in real life. Ooh. Do not try this at home. I love corn. Alright, we're drying the corn. It's a slow process to dry the corn and the beans, but eventually it'll get done. Around that side. See what, let me go, he's at 63, or no, 53. Let me go empty him off up to this point, and then I don't know how he's going to play that. I don't know if he's going to go way across the field and go back and forth, or how he's going to do that. You never can tell. Yeah, you'll have corn in places that corn shouldn't be if you take a corn shower like that. Good morning, Stans. How's it going? see which way he goes. So it looks like he's gonna start right there. So we will follow. Now we should be on a straight westward heading. It's nice to be able to set that up ahead of time when you set up the lines on your field you want it to do. You can set it at 90 degrees or 0 degrees or 45 degrees, you know, whichever way you want to go. And then with the enhanced vehicle mod, you can basically just look at your degrees down there and see which way you match it up. Lock it in. Good morning, Kimmy. It's going. Got a lot of corn. Yep, got a lot of corn. We're making a lot of silage bales. Might make a few hay bales later. And then probably some more silage bales. And we're drying corn and we're drying soybeans. I love this map. It's got that Farms of Madison County type vibe to it. It's very realistic, very detailed. So yeah, I really like it. Yep, it's a 4X. I think John would really like this map. You know, he really liked the Farms of Madison County back in, when did that first come out? 19 or 22? Was that? I think it was 19. Um, this one kind of has that feel to it, so. Got that kind of Midwestern realistic feel. Yeah, I can hire it out. So you know what? Hang on. Let me set this up to where he doesn't turn around and start on those. Should start going back and forth here. Come on, Combine, make up your mind. Yep, looks like he's going to. Show you the map, yep. Let me catch back up with this Combine and I'll bring up the PDA map. here's the map. Very, very variety of fields there. I can't even fit it all in the thing zooming out on it hardly. That's the map right there. I have combined a lot of the fields there. A lot over there on the west side, a lot over there on the east side, northeast side. Some in the middle. But yeah, very, very nice map. A lot of the fields are not even fields. A lot of the properties are like meadow grass fields. So you can just mow the meadow grass if you choose to. And I've done that a lot. And a lot of those will be turned into actual fields. So there's only 2 sell points. Of course, you know you can always add your own sell points, but there's only 2 sell points on the map. There's Gage Grain down there, next to the shop, and then there's the farmers market out this way. And we just built the bakery. So yeah, those are the only 2. I know there's a big beef cattle farm up here that you can get. We haven't bought it yet, but it's got a huge fenced-in field back there. A lot of unique stuff with this map. There's a lot of hidden, what's the right word? There's a lot of hidden plots of land, I guess would be the right way to say it, maybe. Let me get up here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. A lot of little tucked away places. I'm sure they probably really do exist there. In the actual Gage, Kentucky. Located just southwest of Paducah. Get this guy parked down here. Don't catch him when he turns back around. Go up here and teleport to one of these places. Probably right there. Whoop, nope, didn't want to do that. Well, that's close enough. Still kind of in the same vicinity. I just teleported to that trailer over there, so... Or that one over there. So you go running down, this is one of the county roads. Just go running down the road here. There's one of those meadow grass fields that I just recently mowed. You got a pond there. And then the little tucked away areas, kind of like this right here. It's just kind of like an old logging road. So, and there's a lot of this around the map. You go down these roads and you'll find little hidden grass fields like this. And a lot of them interconnect. So this kind of connects over here with this area. Kind of just keeps going around here. I saw another road one day this week, and I'm like, you know what? I want to take that road and see where it goes. I was too busy, doing stuff then. Maybe it was over here. Maybe it is this road that goes back through this way. Yes, it is this road. Yeah, I was mowing this field. That's what it was. I was mowing this field. So basically the county road we were on is right over there. And this road goes back in through here. Basically, it connects to these other little grass fields back here. Then when you do a little fly around, you can see how these all kind of are laid out back here. Then there's more grass fields down here. And this field right here, I needed to go investigate that because it looks like it's hay. I didn't mow this. I've never seen a field come pre-cut. But this one has been pre-cut. I never mowed this. I'm pretty sure Fuzzy didn't do it. So I guess when we buy that field, need to go in there and probably pick that up, I guess, or bale it. I don't remember doing that one, but there's a lot of little like hay and grass fields in here that interconnect. Got a clover or alfalfa field. What is that? I think that's alfalfa. Yep. All interconnects, and you got little farmhouses laying around, sheds, a lot of little areas that you could probably like merge together. This is a big wheat area here that we had. Yeah, even flying around doesn't do it justice because you can't see everything. Big fields. Did a lot of tree work to make these big fields like that. See, did he already turn around? Yep, I think he got full. Yeah, it is a good map for old school roleplay. That's kind of how we started out. We started with, I'll tab through our equipment. We've picked up a lot of equipment too. I think this was the first modern kind of big tractor that we got. It went on sale. Probably grabbed it. Let's see. We got the old 8820 John Deere. We got the old 1480. 1480, I think. Yeah. International. I got the old 45. We called this a grandpa's combine because this is actually one we started with. Got the 4320 over there beside it. There's the 7R that I just recently bought. There's the 8R. Both of those are grass. Got the 5488. Holland. Got the 7250. Nice little tractor there. Still waiting on the 8900 to come out in the mod hub. It's available for PC, I think, now, but it doesn't come with the front loader. Got the 8340 New Holland. This was one of the starting tractors over on Goldcrest Valley back in 17, for y'all that remember that. Nice little tractor. Got the MacDon. Got the new to us in 25, 3560. That was on sale. Got JHHG's 8R. Got the Maxim. This came out in the mod hub not too long ago. I think we had this one back in 22. Got the white. Then we got our trucks. Got the 1066. This actually I think is a conversion of Giants. The Giants tractor that we got back in 22. We got it kind of late in the game in 22, but it came from Giants. So I think it's just a convert from 22 to 25. Got an old Module Express. And there's the 4955. This is probably my favorite tractor still. I think it always has been. Got our trucks. Got these old lizard trucks full of potatoes right now, and then we go back to the Magnum. Yes, this is on PC. A lot of the stuff that I tabbed through that you saw, a lot of the equipment is available on the mod hub for both PC and the consoles. So you can get a lot of that stuff. I know the 5488 International Tractor, the 4320 John Deere. I think a lot of that is available on all of them. The map is not. The map is a 4X map, and it is a very highly detailed map, so it needs a decent PC to run it. Trying to think of, wherever we're gonna go next. And I'm so into this map right now that I haven't even thought about next. There's possibilities out there, but I got to also thinking about how do we want to play that. I got to thinking, well, we could do a no mod thing. We could do but that's no fun. We could do I kind of like to start from zero and like working our way for our equipment. Unless there's collectibles, which that'll be a fair game thing. But saw something. It's like a little walk behind tool, and I got to thinking, boy, if I really wanted to punish myself, really make it a challenge, we could start with that. Start with, literally nothing, and take out little contracts with the little walk behind tool. Oh man, that'd be awful.
You can do that on the weekend. I'm going to mom and dad's.
Well, I could just have you do the 100 bale challenge again.
100 bales?
100,
I've
yeah.
already done that.
100 bales. No, wait. It wasn't 100 bales, was it? 100,000 bales.
100,000 bales.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do a challenge, you can do a decade challenge.
Decade?
Yeah. So when you pick a year, like you start with 1980, right? You gotta use the equipment from the 80s. You can't buy anything newer for 10 years in game.
In game.
In game. Well,
there's not too much of that in game.
Yeah, but 10 years, what I'm saying is 10 years in game, 10 years. So you got to go and pick a tractor from the 80s.
So like your starting year would be like 1980.
Yeah.
For example.
Year, and you can't buy anything new until 1990.
Ugh.
That'd be rough.
I don't know about that one. I was gonna say, equipment wise, just looking at tractors.
But the thing is, there's a lot of tractors that were built in the 80s that they used in the 90s. They still use them now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would say the 3650 might have been built in the 80s. 80s or 90s. And then we just got the Crystal Zator, the older style tractor. And now we got that old JCB. Some of this stuff is foreign, so but that's those are modded stuff. Those comes with the Highland DLC. So say is, if as far as equipment goes, you'd have to find some modded stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff over on a lot of different modders itch.io pages that you could use.
Yeah, there's a lot of equipment out there that you can use for that kind of a challenge, but it's,
Morning, Tomcat. How's it going? Yeah, that's the great thing about Farming Simulator is that if you want to use that government subsidy mod, you can. There's other mods that you can use. There's actually a mod I think that's money grows on trees. I don't know what all that entails, but it sounds like money grows on trees. So, and if you just wanted to go through with it, you can just get the windmills and stuff like that. We've done the windmills back on the original base game Riverbend, and we did the more realistic windmills, and yeah, we made a lot of money. Thing is, like, there's no, yeah, they're expensive, but there's no like work and then reward. And that's kind of what the game is all about. It's kind of what farming's about. You know, you got to put the work in to basically you reap what you sow. I say that at the end of every video that I do. And although I'll say a lot of farmers even around me have gone to solar farming. They've gone to wind farms. Now some of them might still actually like farm around a lot of this stuff, but a lot of the solar stuff, they don't now. They just sit back and collect that money. You know, they sign a contract with I guess the people that do that, and they don't have to do anything else. They're just basically making money. Whee! I think there's a bump right there. I need to smooth that down. Just a wee bit. Well, there's still kind of a little hill there, but it's not like a sharp bump anymore. Tally vote. Who thinks Grand Theft Auto 6 is actually going to launch this year? I think they're going to delay it again. I think it'll be 2027 before we see it. think they're still working on it. They're still working out some issues with it. Not to mention, they had the explosion and fire at the main place where they are doing it. That's going to cause some delays there, I think. They fired a lot of people, laid off a lot of people, whatever you want to call it. Even a lot of the developers, mainly over leaking information. So all the in-game footage that you saw, all of that was very, very, very early on, probably like beta footage of the game. But a lot of it was polished, so. But still, you gotta keep that stuff secret. You don't want to leak out too much, and they're supposed to start merchandising this summer for it. So that means, well, merchandise, probably apparel, probably, collectible stuff. They're going to start running more ads about it. Going into a lot more detail about it. Rockstar delays it again. You're gonna crash out. I really do have a feeling that they will. I think they will delay it again. They started pre-production on Red Dead Redemption 3, though. So they're working on that. And Grand Theft Auto 6 will be a download only to start. There won't be any collectible hard copies until later. Yeah, and then it'll be another year before it comes to PC. I don't understand that. So they're developing the game on a PC, right? And then they're creating the console versions, so that so basically that the consoles can handle those versions of the game. My thing is like, why not do it all at once? And then if you want to do like a PC enhanced version, do that a year or so down the line. Or, years down the line maybe. But just release the game as a whole to everybody at once. You'd make more money that way, because people are going to buy the game. And then if they release a enhanced version of the game, people are going to get that too. I think maybe what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people to buy consoles. So they're trying to help Sony and help Microsoft sell their consoles for the game. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna buy a console to get it either. I'll wait the year for it to come out on PC, and I'll get it through Steam like I've done with the other one. I think I've got all the other ones now though too. They had a big sale on all the Grand Theft Autos here not too long ago. And I mean the previous versions, so like Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I think Grand Theft Auto 4 is in there too. All of those games were like in a bundle, and it was like the sale was insane. So I think the pricing on it actually came out to like, it might have been $10 or less per game. I know that there were 3 of them that came in a kind of together, and then there were the other ones that came together, and then you also had the enhanced version of 5 that I had already. I think I already had the first one, but then I got the enhanced version, and it's definitely a prettier game. But they had a huge, like, all Grand Theft Autos were on sale, and I got them, and I think the big one was the big bundle pack, and I think it was like, gosh, I think it came out to, it might have been $5 a game or $6 a game, because it was less than $30 for like all 3 of those games. It was like way less than that. I want to say it was like $15 for 3 games. And you know they're Grand Theft Auto games, so it's like, yeah. You know, starting with Grand Theft Auto 3, I didn't play the super early versions where, you know, it was just from the top down. I started playing Grand Theft Auto on PlayStation 2, and it was Grand Theft Auto 3. You look back at that game now, it's like, wow. But then, you know, back then that was pretty much the first like open world style game, kind of, that the graphics were just, man, like, wow, you know, this came out on the console just after the first PlayStation. I remember when I got Twisted Metal for the first time, the very first Twisted Metal on PlayStation 1, and my mind was just blown away, you know. Couldn't believe how, you know, coming from 8-bit and 16-bit games to PlayStation games, it was crazy how detailed it was. Because you had Twisted Metal, you had the very first Resident Evil, you had Metal Gear Solid. Man, that game was awesome. I got that one too through the Steam store. I just got that one on sale not too long ago. Got Metal Gear Solid, so it actually came with some of the other Metal Gear games. But Metal Gear Solid was the one that I played. I lost a lot of hours to that one. I did buy Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and then I've got like several other games. I don't even know what all I've got in my library. Those 3 are now $60. Yeah, the sale didn't last long. I'm glad I got them when they were on sale, because, you know, now with the build up to 6 coming out, they're probably going to keep those up there for the time being, and they may mark them down after the release of 6, but I don't know. You might see one more sale before 6 comes out, but I have a feeling they're going to keep them kind of high up there. Because, you know, people are going to be like, man, I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out. Well, hey, come play our older games while you wait, you know. So they're going to probably keep them up there and, you know, try to make some money off of those. You want to watch all the Resident Evil movies? I saw bits and pieces of the first one. I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen any of the from number 2 and on. I saw bits and pieces of the first one. I never really got into the movies. Now the video game, I played the original video game. Barry, where's Barry? I'll never forget that. Every time you start that game, you know, you're just like, Barry, where's Barry? You know, they walk into the house. But they're also supposed to be working on an enhanced version of Red Dead Redemption 2, which Red Dead Redemption 2, as it is right now, is a very beautiful game. But if they do an enhanced version of Red Dead Redemption 2, I can't imagine how that's going to look. That's going to be probably the prettiest game short of Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, I've bought a lot of bundles. I did go back and buy on Steam the Ghostbusters the video game. I remember when that came out. I first got it for the PlayStation 3, and it was awesome then. And I haven't played it on the Steam one yet, but it looks like a great game now. It's got the original voice actors in it, so Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, who was Egon, and then Ernie Hudson, who was Winston. It's got a lot of the original voice actors in there. And the graphics are really great. They were great back on PlayStation 3. I can't wait to see how they look on the Steam side. I know they had two versions of the Ghostbusters game. You had the PlayStation 3 version, which probably was like the Xbox 360 version era. And then you had... They actually made one for whichever Nintendo that was out then, and it was very cartoonish. I mean, it was still kind of the same game, but the graphics were very cartoonish. Like the models for the characters were even cartoonish. So oh yeah, I remember starting out with the Nintendo, all the 8-bit games. Played a lot of Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3. And then you had the Duck Hunt, and then you had Paperboy. And then there was a Back to the Future game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was fun. Ninja Gaiden. You had Contra. Trying to remember them all now. There was a racing game that was pretty fun. I never played like the original Mario Kart. The first Mario Kart that I played was the Mario Kart 64. Now that was a great game too. Loved playing Mario Kart 64. Daytona 500 is a week away from tomorrow. I know you're counting down the days, Sean. Yeah, 64. Mario Kart 64. Played that one. Liked a lot of the 64 games. The GoldenEye James Bond game was great. Star Fox was great. They had a Star Wars Pod Racer game on 64 that was great. Banjo-Kazooie. Donkey Kong. Actually, I think I preferred the Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo. But it was alright on 64 too. Yeah, that's right. The big game is tomorrow. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country. For the Super Nintendo, you had the, let's see, Donkey Kong Country, then you had two, and I think there was three. There might have been one after three. I think the first one, I played a lot of the first one. And a lot of the Sega Genesis game were, you didn't have a lot of the, Nintendo games on Sega Genesis, but then you didn't have a lot of the Genesis games on Nintendo. That's how it was back in the day. It was always Nintendo. Well, first you had Atari, which was before my time. Now I played the arcade Pac-Man and stuff like that at Pizza Hut, but you had like the Atari games, then you had Nintendo, then you had the Sega Genesis came out, and then it was just kind of the battle between Nintendo and Sega for a long time. Then here comes Sony with the first PlayStation, so then it became the three. And then Microsoft said, well, let's throw our hat into the game. So they came out with the Xbox. And then it was a duel between all four, really. And then Sega just kind of, a lot of the Sega stuff is available on Nintendo now, which would be unheard of back then. So yeah, no more Sega stuff. No more Sega Genesis. No more Game Gear. No more Nomad. No more Sega CD. Sega Saturn. Sega Dreamcast. All that stuff. If you would have told me back then that it wouldn't have survived the console wars, I wouldn't have believed you. And now you have the, what is it? What's Nintendo up to now? The Nintendo Switch 2? Yeah, Nintendo kind of lost me after the 64. I think you had the GameCube come out after that, and then you had like the Wii, and you had the Wii 2, and or Wii U or something like that. Then you had the Switch, and you had now you got the Switch 2. I don't know, they just kind of lost me after that whole kind of transition. I really got into the PlayStation, and that might be why I got more into the PlayStation and PC side of things. And now I'm mainly PC, and a lot of these games are available on PC. Yeah, I remember getting into the Sega Genesis side of things, and I know a lot of them were on both Super Nintendo and Genesis, but the 16-bit games, so you had like Jurassic Park, you had RoboCop versus the Terminator, you had all the Disney stuff, you had Aladdin, you had the Lion King. A lot of great games. We had another game on Genesis called Lethal Enforcers, and it came in a big box because you had to have the revolver style gun to play it, and you went through like a lot of these realistic looking traveling mat games where like there was a bank robbery, there was a airport hijack thing type thing going on, which probably wouldn't be released to this day and time, but that was back in the 90s. There were several scenarios in that game, and I played Lethal Enforcers quite a bit back then. Then yeah, I think Genesis had probably the best sports game at that time. So the baseball games, there was a baseball game. I can't remember the name of the baseball one, but you had like NBA. What was it? NBA Jam or something like that. In the football games, you had a lot of the. Oh, what was his? Oh gosh, what was his name? John
Madden.
Madden. That's it. Yeah, he had a lot of the Madden games back for Genesis and Super Nintendo. Yeah, up until recently, and only because of like news articles, I have never ever heard of Bad Bunny. Who is Bad Bunny?
I don't know.
Never heard of him.
I will not be watching the halftime show.
Yeah, I will not either, probably. Mainly for the Super Bowl, I'm there for the food that I'm gonna have. So naturally, I'll probably get a pizza and probably some. Well, I've got chips. I guess I could swing by and get some dips. Um, I think I'm pretty much set on snacks, though. I think I'm good to go there. But I'll probably get a pizza for sure. Welcome back, Blue. He's a rapper? Oh, okay. That might be why I've never heard of him. I'm more of a classic rock, classic music, and a lot of the rock from my day is now considered classic rock, so I guess primarily I'm a classic rock listener. I've recently got on a binge of. I've been making a new, classic rock playlist. I've gotten on a binge of Steve Miller bands, Boston, um, Bob Seger, and the Silver Bullet bands. Oh, Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, um, Rolling Stones, Creedence Clearwater. There's so many to name. I got Pringles. Might pick some pretzels. Also got the okay. So it's Seahawks and Patriots that are doing it this year, right? Who's everybody rooting for? I don't. It doesn't matter to me really.
If I had to pick, Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. Of course, everybody that we knew as far as Seahawks and Patriots goes, they've either all retired or gone somewhere else. So you like the Seahawks, you had like Marshawn Lynch, and then the Patriots you had like Tom Brady and Gronk, and I don't know if I had to choose one, probably the Pats. Yeah, it really doesn't matter to me. Again, I'm just there mainly for the food. That's probably number one. Um, Probably get a barbecue pizza. and maybe a regular pizza. Maybe a stuffed crust. Ooh. The snacks, and all that. And then I'm also there for the commercials because there's some pretty good commercials that come out during the Super Bowl. And then I'm also there for the trailers, like the movie trailers. Got a lot of great movies coming out in 2026 that are still to come. So yeah, see, that's me, Kimmy. I'm there for the commercials, there for the ads, there for the trailers, and the food. Mm-hmm. And then I probably will skip the halftime show. So listen to more modern bands like My Chemical Romance and Green Day. Yeah, this kind of falls under the category of like alternative rock. I really, I grew up in the 90s and 80s and 90s, really, and the early 2000s, and I kind of like a lot of the music from that era. So, Hootie and the Blowfish, Three Doors Down, Matchbox 20, Dave Matthews Band. I really, that's really why I kind of lean towards more of that kind of genre of music, because it was kind of its own genre. And there's a few 80s ones that I like. Playing No Man's Land, you finally got it? Cool. '70s music is the best. Yeah, I like a lot of the '70s music. Get over, get over, get over. Yeah. There's another band that had a couple of hits that I liked. They have an '80s sound to them, but they're not from the '80s. They're from the late 20 teens, 20 2010s, however you say it. The Midnight. They came out with Sunset. They came out with Los Angeles. These are the song titles. They have a very, and a lot of the rest of their music sounds about the same. They have like that 80s kind of synth sound to them. So but yeah, I like a lot of the older stuff like that from the 70s, 60s and 70s, you know. CCR and Three Dog Night and Rolling Stones and a lot of great music. Yeah, I saw where the lead singer of Three Dog Night passed away. Yeah, Los Angeles by the Midnight. That's a good one. Their songs kind of sound like and I don't, I haven't watched Stranger Things, but the soundtrack, like the score to Stranger Things, it kind of has that vibe to it, like a heavy synth kind of vibe to it. Oh, you saw Three Dog Night? Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Doo doo. Was a good friend of mine. Doo 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 doo. Joy to the world. Boys and girls. Doo doo doo. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Here, I'm gonna go empty this while he turns around. Yeah, Grand Funk Railroad. Who was the one? Was that Grand Funk Railroad that sung "We're an American Band"? Or was that who was that? Was that
Sang
the
what song?
"We're an American Band"? Who was that sung that? Was it Grand Funk Railroad or was it somebody else?
It was. I think you're right. I think it's the Grand Funk. Was it Grand Funk?
Kimmy says, yeah, Grand Funk.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, Kimmy's right. It was Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah, now Troy, Rob Zombie did do a cover version of it. And I gotta say, that's a pretty decent version of it too. It's more of a modern kind of rock with the Rob Zombie version. But Grand Funk Railroad um, did the. I'm gonna say they did the original. A lot of songs out there that are cover versions that you would think would be cover versions. You look at Aerosmith, you know, you would think Come Together, and a lot of those songs would be Aerosmith originals because they did them so well and they sound great. But Come Together was actually a Beatles song. And you had songs like Roll Over Beethoven, and then that was a Beatles song, and then who was it? Chuck Berry went and did a cover version of it, and I don't know. I think I kind of like the Chuck Berry version better. They're both good versions though. Yeah, Def Leppard was good. They had some great '80s hits. They had Photograph, Pour Some Sugar on Me, uh, Hysteria, Animal. They're kind of in that genre of the '80s music that I like. The '80s rock music. So you had your metal. I don't know if you call them really metal. They were hair rock bands because they had the hair. So you got the whole list of them. You had Def Leppard. You had uh, White Snake. You had um, Cinderella. You had Motley Crue. You had Poison. You had going down. I'm trying to go down the list in my head, but a lot of the files are corrupt in my head, so I'm trying to remember them all now. Yeah, Twisted Sister. Yeah, they were. I like one by Metallica, the song one. You're going to be more specific there.
No,
Let's,
it's called One.
oh, one is the song. Okay.
One is the song.
I thought you meant like the song one. I'm like, weren't they all songs?
No, dude, don't. It's actually a song called One.
One. Okay. I remember Enter Sandman and what was it? Unforgiven.
Oh, yeah.
And then Disappear. Disappear was a later one that they did for the Mission Impossible 2 movie. Yeah, Enter Sandman. gonna take a long time. We're getting there though. We may have to get back to starting on the grass tomorrow. It's got that big grass field there. Then we got an alfalfa field there, I think.
What field are you talking about? Because the one I was on, it's done.
Yeah, that's a meadow grass field there that you
Yeah.
were on. There's
That
several
field's
other
done.
meadow grass fields out there, but I've got a dedicated grass field down in the southeast corner down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm moving the mower to because it's looks like it's ready to harvest.
Yeah, cut that one with the MacDon.
Okay, the MacDon.
Yeah,
All
take
right.
the MacDon with the reel header, because then you can just automatically like row it up, and you don't have to use the oxbow. Even though I love the oxbow is really more for when we cut hay. And what I'm probably going to do with that, with the grass, we can mow that 3 times a year. So in the spring, we'll probably do like a silage cutting, do that for silage, and then we'll probably in the summer we'll do hay. And with the hay, we'll cut it with that big mower that I've got that's on the 8R. And then we can ted it and then merge it up with the oxbow. And then probably do a second round of silage in the fall. Unless we need more hay. Yeah, anytime we do silage, we can just use that MacDon and it automatically merges it up. It'll be a quicker turnaround process. Because we can run the baler straight behind the MacDon.
All right.
Yeah, that was a kind of a you knew it was coming, but you don't really just I don't know. You what's the right words I'm looking for? You knew that it was coming. After years and years and years, he got recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. You know it's coming, but you're never ready for it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The same thing, goes with, Michael J. Fox. You know it's coming, but you're never ready for it. And you look back at everybody from the past, Patrick Swayze, they receive these diagnoses and stuff. You know it's coming, but you're never ready for it. All your childhood people that you listened to or watched on TV or in the movies growing up, you're never ready for it. But somebody's mama once said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Dying is a part of life. Yeah, he was. I mean, gosh, when did the Osbournes air? Was it the late '90s that came on air?
Yeah, that was the late '90s,
I
maybe
mean,
early 2000s.
even back then, we looked at Ozzy and we're like, he's still alive. It's like, it's a great thing, I guess, that he's still alive, but he's still alive. He hasn't, you would
Well,
think after all you know, all the stuff that he has
yeah,
probably
I was gonna
done.
say he wasn't easy on his body.
No.
Okay. It wasn't easy at all.
No, not at all.
But there you go. I mean, a lot of these hard rockers, you would thought they would have been gone by now. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ace Frehley just passed away.
Yeah, yeah, from
So I
Kiss,
mean,
yeah.
it's you look at Gene Simmons. I mean, God,
Yeah. I never knew that about the oh, what was the guy, and he's one of the members of Motley Crue, that he had done a lot of stuff and he actually was unresponsive and technically had died. They revived him back. I think there was like one paramedic or something that brought him back and revived him, and that's where the song "Kickstart My Heart" came from. That's how he wrote that song, because they literally like shocked him and brought him back.
that was Nikki Six.
Nikki Six, yeah. So I learned that.
And I believe he overdosed on heroin.
Yeah,
I
I think it
believe.
was. Yeah, I think it was heroin. Hopefully he's on his longest pass. Hopefully he'll make it back down this way before I have to offload him. So what I'm gonna do is lock this in right there. Try to. There we go. And I've got my cruise control set. Alright. I'm gonna take my first break while this goes down the field here. And then we'll come back. YouTube, you guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. We'll continue this corn harvest. Alright. Until then, remember you reap what you sow. Matt from the Green Arcade. We'll see you later, YouTube.